Bruce Wayne may appear to be a wealthy playboy, but beneath this facade, his true identity is that of the Batman, waging an endless war against crime. Join the Caped Crusader in Batman The Audio Adventures, the first scripted audio original featuring Batman and his villainous rogues gallery in a world premiere story of life and death in Gotham City, debuting exclusively on HBO Max. This rollicking adventure, told across 10 episodes, is written and directed by Emmy winner Dennis McNicholas, includes devilishly delightful original music by Doug Bossy, and performances by Rosario Dawson, John Leguizamo, Chris Parnell, Melissa Villaseñor, Seth Meyers, Jason Sudeikis, Brooke Shields, Fred Armisen, and many, many more. Go to hbomax.com/Batman Audio Adventures for more and stream Batman, The Audio Adventures only on HBO Max.
But their story didn't end there.
How could there have been only one? And he's back in business.
Is the worst idea in history of bad ideas.
Part 2 is the final chapter in the violent history of...
This time, it's personal.
We have to take it.
We need Kong. The world needs him to stop what's coming. And this child, she's the only one he'll communicate with.
I knew that they had a bond. She had nowhere to go, so I made a promise to protect her. And I think that in some way, Kong did the same. Godzilla.
These are dangerous times.
Godzilla's out there and he's hurting people and we don't know why.
There's something provoking him that we're not seeing here.
I'm of the same opinion.
The myths are real. There was a war. And they're the last ones standing.
I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it.
Who bows to who?
Nobody gonna stop for me.
Kong bows to no one.
If you like gorillas, iguanas, kaijus, Hong Kong, Hollow Earth theory, robots, Hollow Earth aerial vehicles, or heaves, fights on carrier ships, fights in cities, Monarch, Bleach, Apex Predators, conspiracy theory podcasts, and the sadistic deaths of power-hungry billionaires, then you'll love our movie this week. It's Godzilla vs. Kong from 2021. And, let them fight again. They should just have that on a no one says that in this movie, right?
No.
They get the picture. They get the...
I think that it was when they said it the first time in 2014, like they're like, "Oh, okay, they're just going to fight from now on."
Let him do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world's just used to these giant Mortal Kombat fights.
It's not like anyone sees a hurricane and is like, "We've got to stop it."
With a tornado.
Whoa. That would be funny, huh? Idea to send
the
to
asylum.
Huh,
Yeah, to
something
sci-fi?
to idea to send to Joe Biden. Send tornadoes to hurricanes. My name is Emmanuel.
Hey, I'm Andrew.
What's up? It's John.
And we're in a new year, maybe. Actually.
Really? By now?
Yeah.
At this time?
Mm-hmm. And if not, this is
this is a botch.
This is a botch.
Yeah.
This is a botch job.
We record these babies 5 years ago, and then we plan on their release at some point. We crank out 20 at a time sometimes. Yeah. It gets nasty.
Wow, 5 years ago is 2017.
Yeah, it's not that long ago.
Yeah, that's not that long ago. Huh.
5 years isn't a long time.
No. And this film takes place 3 years from the last movie.
I think 5 years ago was 2016.
Well, no, I'm saying from when they're listening to this.
Okay.
Oh, damn. Now we have
I was getting confused. It's like, y'all's math is bad.
I mean, I feel like I'm very confused. What are we doing? We're talking about Godzilla versus Kong, a good old-fashioned versus movie. Mm-hmm. And I will say this, and I don't know if it's good or bad, we have actually basically completed the Monsterverse in terms of sequels and franchises. We've never done this with any other franchise, but we've talked about Kong, Skull Island.
Did we really?
Yeah, we sure did. We talked
As
about
a sequel to Godzilla, I guess.
We talked about Godzilla, King of Monsters, and we're talking about Godzilla vs. Kong.
A real kaiju bingo.
We're kaiju bingo. We completed the circle.
We did 10 Cloverfield Lane. Technically, kaiju movie in the first one.
Okay, we're not just talking kaiju. All the Pacific Rims. We've really filled in the.
I'm glad we haven't done Pacific Rim.
The Earth. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm trying to think. We don't want to cover our relationship with Godzilla because we've talked about that probably 4 times by now.
Yeah.
So
our
that's
relationship
it.
with Kong.
We're done. But this is a very special, I guess, movie because in a way we can talk about it right up front. Some of our first experiences back in theaters, right? Yeah. This movie came out 2021, the year that COVID died. Hopefully. I don't know. Someone may play this back, and maybe it's not true. But what did y'all think when you heard that Godzilla vs. Kong was going to be released in theaters during the pandemic and also online on HBO Max?
I was scared mainly because you didn't see a whole lot of marketing for it until very late in the game. I guess you had heard that when we saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and regardless of how we felt about that movie, it didn't really do well at the box office. So you kind of got the feeling that they were kind of reworking stuff, or maybe they're reshooting stuff. And not to mention the fact that, I'm not the biggest Adam Wingard fan, but they were having Wingard was going to be the director of this movie, and so you're like, oh, okay, cool, whoa, okay. So actually seeing a trailer and then having it, them saying that it was going to drop on HBO Max was actually for me kind of cool. Because I knew that I was going to watch it possibly there first. I think when the HBO Max thing was first announced, it was exciting because, you couldn't really go to the movies and COVID was still probably very, very much it still is a threat, but I think the mentality that I had at the time was with, no vaccines, stuff like that. It was very scary to try to go out to a movie theater with loads of people and watching a flick. So when HBO Max and it's a little controversial announcement came along, I was kind of this is cool. I don't mind watching this at home. And then that right after that announcement, they did show a good trailer for this movie, which I was kind of excited for because it looked very schlocky. Not unlike Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is also kind of a schlocky movie, and it's not as serious as the 2014 one.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was it looked like they were going to do it justice, and I was excited to watch it. And even now, just having watched it a couple of times, and we'll get into it, but it's pretty satisfying.
Yeah. This movie was filmed in 2018. People started screening it in 2019, which is a long, long time before we even got a chance to take a peek at it in theaters. But we had to celebrate our survival, we had a Delphin Pod screening at a theater, a socially distanced theater. And this was the movie we picked because it felt at the time that this was a good, big
screen movie.
Experience. But Andrew, what did you think about Godzilla v Kong being theatrical?
Man, yeah, and so I think I said this on an earlier podcast that I was re-listening to a couple of them, and I ended up hearing myself say this, but it is true that during the pandemic, I went the longest period in my life without going to a movie theater since I was 5.
Yeah.
And so I had been going to the movie theater continuously since then, whether that was once a month or once every other month or whatever, And so it was crazy to not have gone I think that for that long of a time,
Yeah.
We talk about this month when we were recording it, of how many releases are coming out and stuff like that, and it's pretty crazy that we've gotten back to this point that
I'm behind, honestly. You were texting me all the things coming out. I was like, damn, I don't have time to see all these movies, and they're all really big.
And so it's just, man, again, super fortunate, I think, to just know what we're dealing with, I think, in the pandemic. And so, yeah, it was really, really refreshing to kind of get back here. And a couple of weeks after this, or a couple of days after this, we ended up going to watch Mortal Kombat in IMAX because we were just, itching for new, just that theatrical experience. So it was pretty crazy to be back into a theater safely and I think in a smart way. And I remember it being the weirdest thing getting to watch it at the movie theater and then coming back home and then putting it on HBO Max. It was so
unique.
weird.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think that, watching it on the TV just has this stigma of like, it's old. Like there's it's been like months or it's been weeks since it came out, and you rewatch it on Blu-ray all the time or in these streaming services when they gain the rights to them after the theatrical release is done. So it was kind of really, really odd for me. So it was I don't know how to put my finger on it really, but
yeah. And I think that there is we talked about before we recorded, John and I, about the idea that this movie really brought a lot of people like us back to the theaters, and we were trying to figure out why, but it seems like all of these releases prior to this seemed like not essential viewing. Does that this movie feels like you need to watch
one movie with a T
that
came out last year?
I still haven't seen that movie, but it is like a lot of this seems like it's wrapped up in you want to see this on the biggest screen possible, even though you could watch it at home, which is a really interesting strategy, and it seemed to have worked. This movie's turned a profit already. It was the highest viewed thing on HBO Max at the time when it came out. And there was a whole lot of, I think Netflix offered like $250 million for this. For it, yeah. And HBO Max and Warner Brothers was like, no, we want to do our own thing and keep it theatrical. And I'm kind of happy that it was that way, because this movie, as much as we're going to talk about it here in a bit, and maybe some of the things that we had issues with, or maybe some of the things just that weren't perfect. But this is a kind of movie that you watch and you sort of just are enraptured in it, and you're just in this world, and you're kind of just waiting for the next big fight. And they delivered on all that, on the bigness of a big kaiju movie. So that was really good. But this movie was helmed by Adam Wingard. What do you all think about him as a director?
I'm gonna pass.
Really? Okay.
I thought you were gonna ask. Oh yeah. Well, Adam Wingard himself. I don't know. I'm trying to.
He's yet to hit his peak. I'll give you that.
I guess that's the most polite you can say about it. He definitely knows. I've seen lots of interviews with him. I've seen he has a really good documentary on the Blair Witch Blu-ray, where it's like a really cool documentary on filmmaking. He seems to know what he's doing a lot. That being said, his movies aren't. Some of them aren't for me. I'm not a huge Blair Witch fan. Although I will admit to kind of liking, and I'm not sure if anyone on here, if this is blasphemous, I do kind of like Death Note, and I do like The Guest. I've never seen Your Next. I've seen a segment of his on VHS. I think the second VHS movie.
Yeah.
It was a unique person to be the front runner of this project. It works though, definitely. I think this is my favorite Wingard movie yet, because he clearly had a vision on how to show these characters and what the movie was going to be. And the movie really is a fight movie. As much as I kind of dig moments, not so much like entire scenes or sequences, as much as I dig moments from King of the Monsters and from the first Godzilla movie, Wingard really did bring that fight aura from Kong Skull Island, and basically translated it to this movie, where it's just, it's, the way the fights are shot, they're unbroken. It's not cutting back to humans who are underneath them or something. So I think he did a great job with this flick. But as for Wingard himself, I need to see more, I guess.
Well, we talked earlier on that he got his start, making mumblecore films and being the DP for Joe Swanberg, who is Lena Dunham, Greta Gerwig, Noah Baumbach. So he's definitely been a film festival darling for a while, and he just wanted to level up in terms of budget and scale. And his earlier stuff is incredibly stylistic. I think I talked about Popsicle. He made that while drinking cough syrup. And the movie, everyone thought this is like some insane experimental stylish thing.
He was addicted to cough syrup, or he was just like, that was a stylistic choice he just wanted to drink during the production?
The main character drank cough syrup. And while he was filming it, he drank cough syrup so he can experience what the main character was doing. And then while they were editing, it was a real trip.
He didn't just sleep? Isn't that what cough syrup does to you? Like, just puts you to sleep?
Apparently, hey, we should try right now. But apparently it's very kind of trippy. And you can see, especially in this movie, quite a bit of that need to become, or to make really stylized moments. And we talk about those fight sequences. I mean, there's fight sequences in this that are lit by multicolor neon light.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's a giant kind of weird 2001 Space Odyssey fall in the gravity thing where they enter hyperspace. So although it's still set in the legendary Monsterverse that Gareth Edwards created, which is kind of a very dramatic realism type iteration of Godzilla, he's got these very big flourishes of color and style. And I mean, it doesn't get as experimental as King Kong sitting on a throne with giant rocks floating around him and he's holding like an axe. You're almost like, what? This is a fantasy movie.
Yeah.
And I think that it kind of works because we got to be really sad during the Gareth Edwards one. So it's nice that we have a new change of pace. But Andrew, what do you think about Godzilla versus King Kong? First of all, who are you rooting for?
I was Team Kong, much like I was Team Edward in the Twilight series.
The two leading men of your life.
We have too many versus movies. First off,
many. I think somebody took a peek at our
Ford
game later.
Ferrari, Batman v
Stop
Superman.
Stop talking.
Exactly.
Okay.
He's like, I'm giving away all the answers already.
Dang it!
You're welcome.
I guess I'll just give you 2 points right now.
Kramer versus Kramer?
Yeah.
I'll give you 1 point, John. Stop it! You're ruining it.
Have like
Here's a game.
Great minds think alike. We all know it already.
Or it's just the low-hanging fruit of the game.
Anyway, I remember watching this for the first time
on HBO Max. Remember, we watched it like the midnight it premiered or something.
Yeah, we're like the day of
7 p.m.
Well, also, we were starved from big new releases for a long time, whether it was theatrical or not. These things just weren't coming out.
So we watched it, and I remember having gripes with it when we were watching it because me and John kind of Mystery Science Theatered it up, and we're like, damn, like these are all the parts that are like rough, and we're calling them out as it's going.
Yeah. What's the password of the computer?
Yeah. There were really cool aspects. We're watching one right now as the movie's on in the background. There were really cool aspects that evolved the characters, and even the characters being the fictitious kaiju there in the movie as well. Where like, Kong knows sign language, and like John said, the unbroken takes on the fights, and they really did kind of learn from it's crazy because it's like fan service to turned up to 11, no pun intended, baby. Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Turn it up to 11.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they've actually made that joke in Stranger Things, which is kind of sad.
I'm glad.
It's super self-aware.
Anyway, so I'm glad that they really kind of fan serviced it up, and they took all the criticisms from the last movies, where even a grounded, realistic take on it, like Gareth Edwards is, people were still angry with it. They're like, I didn't see much fighting in that bitch. I just saw the back of a storeroom where we were hiding in the fucking bunker or whatever. And so it's crazy on how a movie like this really ended up kind of paying attention to the criticisms and and basically what the fans had to say.
It's tight too. It's like really short compared to the other ones.
Which I appreciate.
Short.
But but also, it's just in the old style of those old Godzilla movies.
Versus ones.
Yeah, where he fights a monster, where he's drop kicking Megalyn while Jet Jaguar's holding him,
Yeah.
And so while Gigan's been knocked out, and it sounds super ridiculous.
Mothra watches.
Yeah, and it sounds. I mean, at one point, there's like 6, 7, 8 monsters in a movie, and so they kind of did that a little bit with King of Monsters, and gave us a little taste, and then gave us the granddaddy of them all with King Kong being the OG from 1933, 33, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So
That was,
it's the 30s.
that was a good year. I remember that year.
And so, we were trying to think of like a kaiju before then, and we're like, the dinosaurs, I guess, don't count as kaiju in movie, but it makes sense to have this redo of these worlds colliding and having like an Avengers-esque type of kaiju movie, and especially because we live in that type of culture that loves to see those franchise crossovers. And
Kong stands on his own. Like, he's got his own franchise. He's got his own following.
Arguably, I think Legendary might have lost the rights to Godzilla, so I would imagine that Kong is the way you go from here. Like, you lean into him, and that's part of what the best parts that's one of the best parts in this movie was the Hollow Earth stuff with Kong, and he like led them through the whole thing, and it gives you a whole nother environment to like have this type of crazy adventure with I'm not saying stakes, but like, the minimal amount of damage. That's why the Justice League can't get in too many fights, because they're going to fuck up all the cities, and granted, that's happened a lot in this MonsterVerse, where like they just ran through San Francisco and it's gone. But it is really, really cool what they end up doing with the Hollow Earth stuff, and that was ultimately some of my favorite parts of seeing Kong down there. And but I think this movie shines where in the fights for sure, and some of the creative ideas and aspects, and just seeing what these type of characters or these monsters are capable of in today's world, seeing them in the best type of CG, seeing them in their peak in physicality, and because now it's not just guys in a suit anymore and that are obstructed by their vision because they're in this helmet or whatever. You can kind of put them at their full potential, and ultimately I think the favorite wins. I told John in championship wrestling rules, King Kong still walks away with the belt. He gives Mechagodzilla he gives him he just wrecks him. It's crazy.
That's because Godzilla was getting his ass whipped though for a while though. It's like
not really. Like Mechagodzilla had no trouble with Godzilla, and then again, championship belt rules. Kong has the belt. Godzilla wins the belt from him, and then Mechagodzilla wins the belt from Godzilla. This is for the dirt sheet for John.
Yeah.
And then Mechagodzilla gets defeated for the belt by King Kong.
Yeah.
With a steel chair or the axe or whatever.
And those podcasters.
It's true, yeah. Podcasts.
They help. Podcasters save the world. Really?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
That's part of my least favorite part of this movie was that line of was that adventure. I hate that. And yeah, it gets cringy where they literally say Mechagodzilla and you're like, what are you doing? This is the fucking worst.
I would have said Robot Godzilla. If you're looking at that and not knowing what Mechagodzilla was, you'd be like, oh, that's like a Robot Godzilla.
I mean, nothing against the cast.
I think that's an actual line. There's like, it's Robo Godzilla, and he's like, no, that's
really?
Mechagodzilla.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the worst. Some of the dialogue is really cringe worthy, and it's just overall kind of awful. But so were the other ones though, like the old ones. The cast shines. Like, that's not taken away from Paperboy, Fastos, or whatever you want to call him.
Brian, what's his name?
Fantana.
Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henry, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm really glad that he's getting opportunities like this and to be part of franchises like the MCU and being part of, the
and
King Kong and Godzilla.
This is a fun movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm really hoping that Paperboy wasn't a deep cut for our listeners. If not, then you guys need to watch more TV.
It's true. Atlanta, hot in the streets. Yeah, and Fastos in the Eternals. But and then the kid from Deadpool, who was cool.
Hunt for the Wilder People, dude. What's his name?
He's really funny. Julian
Dennison.
Yeah, okay. We got Millie Bobby Brown. We got Kyle Chandler returning, which we did talk that, and we did say that he's been a part of two. We've been a part of 2 Godzilla movies, King of Monsters, and this one, and then he's been a part of 2 King Kong movies, which is Peter Jackson's, and this one.
And he's been a part of a football team down here in Texas that won
Lots of
state.
shit, actually.
He was a detective going after Jordan Belfort in. I'm just kidding.
And I think he was in that Save the Cheerleader, Save the World show.
He's also in Star Wars Visions. Spoilers.
It's
Dilton,
true.
sorry.
Oh yeah, he's in Visions. But yeah, the cast does a good job, and then Hall and the Skarsgård,
Rebecca Hall,
Isa Gonzalez,
Alexander
Damian Bichir.
Skarsgård.
So not taking away from them, it's not them, and they do the best with what they have. But I mean, how good can you get when it's a fucking monkey and a lizard fighting?
Yeah, we don't like human. We don't care about humans.
Exactly.
And Wingard knows that. Wingard kind of knows that in this movie.
Yeah, and he leans into the other stuff. And thank you for not cutting back and forth between problems, but
and not making the problems super emotional. Does that make sense? Like there was there was a little bit with Millie Bobby Brown and
she cares for
Kyle
Godzilla
Chandler.
like a pet.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was her motivation, where it's like my dog would do this.
But there was a broken marriage in King of Monsters.
In King of Monsters, yeah.
There was like regret and
people
like
betraying each other. One of them is bad.
Yeah. There's
and you're
politics. Yeah, you got like eco terrorists, and you were like, damn.
And
but yeah, this movie doesn't.
This
have
one,
that.
Godzilla's like, I'm the alpha.
Yeah, you got a podcaster who bathes in bleach. That's it. Like that's the conflict. Like not the only conflict, of course, but it's as far as you get.
You do have like the girl's character. What's her name? She's
Kaylee Huddle.
Yes. You have that connection with Kong, which I think is the emotional center of the movie.
Yeah, she's amazing. Deaf Orphan. And it's also interesting because guess where she went to school? She went to school right here in San Antonio, baby.
In the Countdown City homes in the 210, baby.
We're raising Kong sitters.
Puro pinche Spurs, as they say in the streets, vato.
It was interesting, though, to introduce...
That's the way they talk here.
We know that in the real world and also in a lot of pop culture, gorillas understand sign language. We've taught them sign language.
Yeah, Congo, me, Amy, Amy.
Congo.
Oh, the diamonds. And remember... And so it's really interesting to see that here and having a character like her show that... it applies to the biggest gorilla around.
Yeah.
And it's kind of wild to think that, you can communicate to him and he can share his feelings with you. That's something that's unique to him. And we definitely don't know what Godzilla's thinking ever.
Yeah, never, actually. Well, we see him smile at one point, which is kind of weird.
He's pissed. He knows
smile.
he's the
He
king.
like glares multiple times, like he's like smirking. And what the fuck?
Yeah, we just know what is. I just know, like, every time they show like a close up on Godzilla's face, his nostrils are always flaring.
Yeah. He's got good. He gets really good close-ups.
He gets really good ventilation in that bitch.
Andrew, did you want to wrap up your thoughts?
Yeah, I know. I went off in a tangent a little bit and started going off into the cast, but I'm saying that ultimately that was my point. Is that
at least you name the cast?
They do the best. They do the best at what they can with what they have, and that's including Wingard too. Who wrote the script?
I think it might have been.
Who the fuck wrote this shit?
Max Bornstein and Wingard, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Eric Pearson and Max Bornstein. A story by Terry Rossio, Michael Dougherty, and Zach Shields.
Imagine writing this movie too. Just
Michael Dougherty, the story, was the guy who wrote and directed, I think, the last movie.
This seems like a movie that David S. Goyer would have written if he could.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
That you could kind of tell. That's all you need to know about this movie. Really, really cool fight scenes. I don't know if that's all I rewatched, honestly.
Yeah.
I was going through this. I was like, I ain't gonna watch all this movie. Let me get to this fucking fights because this is where the movie shines. It might be nominated for fucking VFX. Maybe Oscars for the VFX.
Yeah.
Maybe. I can see it.
I don't know what the timeline is like.
This will be for next year.
For next year, okay.
It'll be for next year.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, did it already pass?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's what kind of got me hesitating. But we've been in this pandemic a really long time.
John, what did you think of Kong v. What do you think of Kong v. Godzilla?
V. Gargles.
No, I was going to say Kong v. Garcia. I was like, that's just a person. He would die. But what do you think about Kong v. Godzilla? Are you a Kong head or are you a God head?
I need somebody to come up with fan art of a kaiju named Garcia.
We got to know somebody with that last name. But yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I think when it came out, I was waiting for again, like what Drew says. I agree. Like I think throughout the movies, the human element of the movie kind of gets weaker. But at this point, I think that, like, Wingard knows what audiences want to see by this point. So while we do get a really stellar cast, like, I think Rebecca Hall and Stellan Skarsgård and all the players are really awesome. I think it is really cool for someone to kind of like, you just want to see spectacle.
Yeah.
And this is the spectacle that was promised in the last 2 movies.
Yeah.
I guess.
The focus is not really the people.
No, definitely not. And I do like, there's enough emotional connection to make you caring about him. I'm not saying that you don't care about him at all. I think, like you said, I think we care more about Kaylee Hoddle's character and the Kong crew. Because there's 2 crews. There's like a Kong crew and
then podcast.
And then a Godzilla crew. Well, the podcast crew is the Godzilla
crew.
the Godzilla crew. I think we care more about the Kong crew than we do the Godzilla crew. But even then, like, it's just it's cool to have that connection. You don't hate them too much. I mean, everything that they say is kind of either cheesy or corny.
And we kind of you get a peek behind the curtain, realizing that they're really there to move the plot forward because Godzilla can't monologue.
Yes, exactly. And
he can't tell you this is what I want.
Can't really.
We're just trying to figure it out, and then we tell people what they want.
Yeah, exactly. But God damn, like the fights in this, like I think we're watching in the background, we're getting to the first fight when Godzilla and Kong are fighting, among the ships, like the battle carriers.
Which I think is an homage to the 1963 Kong v. Godzilla, how it ends, underwater.
Underwater, yeah. I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, I come in here I remember watching the King Kong versus Godzilla movie as a kid and owning it. And thinking
because you grew up in the 60s.
It was a cool... No, it's like my mom, I think, bought it like at a flea market for me. And I was a huge kaiju fan growing up because, she bought like these tapes where you're just like, it's Godzilla versus Megalon, Godzilla versus the sea monster, Godzilla versus, what's another one? Gigan. And so watching all these movies and then, they would show them like sometimes on Saturdays on Fox, like, like Saturday afternoons. Like that would be the afternoon movie. And watching them was just really cool. So growing up and then, coming from the, watching the Matthew Broderick 1998 Godzilla, which I still kind of like too. It's a weird movie, but
there's small Godzillas.
So I guess coming towards this, I was definitely a Godzilla fan, but I knew that the Kong aspect of it was going to be cool too because first off, he had the best movie. He still has the best movie in the MonsterVerse. Like Kong Skull Island is
It's fun.
It's a good movie. It's very fun.
You got Samuel L. Jackson staring through fire.
At Kong.
And saying, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
That smoke fight scene with Tom Hiddleston and like the green smoke.
It's so good. So good. Brie Larson's fantastic. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah,
John C. Reilly.
John Goodman's in there. Like,
it's a good movie.
Yeah. So having Kong and even the mythology of Kong, like I like the original King Kong. The one
was
with
Beauty that killed
Cooper.
the beast.
Yeah, Marion C. Cooper, right? I think.
Spoiler alert, Beauty kills the beast.
I love that one. I love the Jeff Bridges Kong, like the King Kong, the 1971. The one where he's fighting at the top of the Trade Center.
Oh, okay.
I like the I think it's called the Jessica Lange card more so than the Jeff Bridges one. The Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
She
twas the beauty that twas done have killed thus the beast. Killed the beast.
I like that movie a lot.
And
like
Peter Jackson.
I kind of don't like... Oh, no, I was going down the list.
Oh, you're on the... Okay.
I kind of...
She's like, Mighty Joe Young, not a fan.
No,
I like Donkey Kong too, I guess.
I kind of don't like King Kong Lives with Linda Hamilton, but it's...
I don't think I've seen that
one. Yeah, it's not a good movie, but whatever. But I do like the... like Peter Jackson King Kong. Like that
Jack
one's
Black.
Great, that's probably the most epic...
Colin Hanks.
The most epic a Kong movie has ever been. I mean, it's a straight up remake of the original movie. Like, it's just expanded. Like, they add 2 hours to the original movie.
There's an hour of early Depression New York before they get on the boat.
They're like, you want to be a star, don't you?
Hey, kid, why don't you dance here for money?
So,
see?
Yeah. And then the reimagining of Skull Island for the MonsterVerse was great too. So I knew that I was a fan of both these characters coming through. And then, this movie did not disappoint in terms of how they were going to fight. I was kind of hoping Godzilla would win because it just makes more sense.
Yeah.
You got a nuclear lizard that's, it's just fighting a gorilla.
And he kind of does win.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
And that's what's the cool thing.
But not he wins up in top Earth.
Yeah.
And Kong can live in Hollow Earth.
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
But it was overall like a really exciting movie. It's what a movie to kick off the new era or like the return to cinema, I guess. I know we were laughing because there's memes all over the internet like, the Venom saved cinema, Shang-Chi saved cinema, Dune is going to save cinema.
It's already saved.
Yeah, like I think Godzilla vs. Kong was the thing that saved movies earlier this year. And like, I think it surprised everyone when it happened. Like, but that being said, I mean, people go to the movies to see something like this. These giant animals or monsters fight on a giant screen. So like it's spectacle to the highest degree. And I had a lot of fun. And then, even that cameo by a certain monster, a certain mechanical monster there at the very end, that Mecha Godzilla.
Mechanicong. Remember Mechanicong?
Was there a Mechanicong?
Yeah, there's a like a.
I've seen this. He has red eyes, right?
Of King Kong. Yeah, it's called Mechanicong.
Yep.
Where is that? What movie is that from?
The next one.
Just like
Godzilla versus Mechanicong.
It's really cool to. It was cool to get all of that in here, and then it's like what Drew said. This is the highest budget that's probably given to the monsters to see them like act like this. It's everything that I wanted as a kid, like put in a movie.
Yeah.
With kaiju, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought this movie was incredibly light on its feet for something that felt so laborious in some other
installments.
movies.
Yeah.
But it was. I think it's really fun, and I think that there is a sense that Adam Wingard knows how to heighten these moments. I mean, there's a moment here where they have to revive Kong by hovering a gravity vehicle on his chest.
Yeah,
do you remember that? Defibrillating him. And I was like, whoa, this is insane. But I feel like, throughout the movie, there is kind of this expansion of the world, or is it the implosion of the world down in a Middle Earth or a Hollow Earth? But beyond that, I think it's just really smart to have the Apex organization as another
like an anti,
which makes sense. There is a lot that goes on, and I still don't understand how you can upload energy to the cloud, and put it in a computer. There's a lot of stuff, but the movie is incredibly immersive, especially in a theater where you really just turn off all of the things that make you question a ton of it. Because you're really just excited to see the fights. Yeah. And you're constantly thinking of ways for Godzilla to upgrade. And I think we see the most Godzilla of any of these movies, and also nuclear breathing Godzilla than any of these movies. And again, like I think that there's a style that's happening here that's really fantastic and fun. I thought, it's just a fun movie, and I think it takes a lot of work to get there. I think Wingard watched every single Kong movie and every single Godzilla movie because he wanted to do something they've never done before. And you think, oh, everyone says that, but when you watch like 100 movies, you may think, oh, maybe they've done quite a bit. And so I like that, and I like that there is seemingly a relationship between Kong and Godzilla. They kiss.
There's a history.
There's a history there, and they both have no history with
Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
with that shit. They're like their families have been feuding for fucking millennia.
And then this mech shows up, and they're like, "We don't know you," and they tag team him. And luckily,
just like in our future, technology just rises against us and takes over.
So I thought that was incredible. And later on, we'll talk about where it goes from here. But yeah, I thought it was really, really fun. Well, let's pause here and play a game. Don't pause your thing, your phones, or don't pause your Walkmans.
I already paused it.
Shit. We're gonna play a game. It's called No Matter Who Wins, We Lose. As Andrew talked about before, there are quite a few films that have my two favorite letters, V and S in him, versus, and they named a couple, which may show up on this quiz. Who knows? But what we're going to do is I'm going to read I would say like a redacted version of the synopsis of these movies, and then you, John and Andrew, will text me what this movie is. And because this is a little bit easier, it will be whoever texts me first that gets the point. So get
no initials.
No, no initials, okay?
And it's going to be so easy if we do that.
Yeah,
that's why.
No initials, and I hope y'all don't have Verizon. Okay. So they are texting me here, but again, everyone listening, you can
play
too.
Or the new upgrade. It's going to be like...
this is Adam... Wait, Adam, this is... Sorry, I have his name written down here. This is Andrew versus John. No matter who wins, the listeners lose. But you can play with us too. It can be listener versus us. Insert your name versus LVU. My third favorite letter. L. All right, here we go. Here's the first one. A young man must defeat his new girlfriend's 7 evil exes one by one in order to win her heart. What versus movie is this? There's a lot of tapping going on. Andrew's in with Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Fuck.
Andrew gets that point. Do you text a lot, Andrew?
Not really.
Who texts more, John or do you think
Drew?
Probably John.
Probably Drew.
Okay. Some of you may have been practicing your whole life for this. How about this?
think so.
Everyone has to do T9. I'm just kidding. Remember that? You
Yeah, I remember
young
that, yeah.
listeners don't know. You millennials and your...
What? You mean you Zoomers?
You Zoomers. Do millennials eat ass?
But they also probably got with T9 before they eat
Okay.
ass. Yeah.
But what do Zoomers do?
I don't know.
Same thing?
Yeah, they eat
We're
ass.
so
I don't know.
boring.
They like feet.
Lick feet, baby. Sorry for all the kids listening.
Yeah, we're insulting our
Whoops.
audience here.
All right, here we go. A team of archaeologists and other scientists find themselves caught up in a battle between these two legends. Soon, the team realize that there's only one species that can win. John, you get it first. Alien versus Predator.
It auto-corrected me, and I texted my mother. And so it actually autocorrected to Año, like A-N. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
funny.
So I texted AVP, but then I was like, oh, shit.
okay, I see. I thought you texted your mom Alien versus Predator, and she's just going to be like, okay.
No, did you get my Año first?
She's gonna buy you a copy of
Because I
Alien
meant
versus
AVP.
Predator.
It's like, Andrew, this is what you wanted for Christmas? Alien versus
Emmanuel
Predator?
was like, John got it in first because Andrew spent Año.
Here we go. Here's the next one. There's quite a few. A heated custody battle ensues over a divorced couple's son, deepening the wounds left by separation. This is John's in, baby, with Kramer versus Kramer. When you were a kid, did you think this was about the Seinfeld character? Because I did. I'm not even joking. I thought
No.
Kramer versus Kramer was a Michael Richards joint. I was like, damn, this is sad as hell.
You're
When does
just
he
like-
come in? When is he like, oh,
You're just thinking anything that's named Kramer.
Yeah. That
Cosmo,
sucks, right?
yeah.
All right. Here's the next one. A woman transformed into a giant after she is struck by a meteorite on her wedding day
I don't know this one, yeah.
becomes part of a team of monsters sent in by the U.S. government to defeat an alien mastermind to take over Earth. This is a good one. I like this movie. Ooh, so you all were really close. But John, you get the point because the movie is Monsters versus Aliens, and Andrew sent in Alien versus Monsters.
Oh, shit.
That's a different movie.
I see how it is.
I will say that while I was looking up movies with verses, there's a lot of like B, C movies that have a lot of verses.
Yeah, you
and
should have gotten that too.
There's,
Like,
there might be some in here,
Yeah.
but it's characters I was like, oh, they would never fight each other because they don't know each other. Here's the next one. Okay, this is very interesting.
Is it? This is relative.
A UN reporter broadcasts a report on the appearance of a prehistoric monster that emerges from hibernation while a pharmaceutical company seeks publicity with a monster of their own. This is
an asylum joint. It has to be, right?
you're all going to feel dumb after this.
Say it again.
I'm going to say it again. Here we go. A UN reporter broadcasts a report on the appearance of a prehistoric monster that emerges from hibernation while a pharmaceutical company seeks publicity with a monster of their own. This is interesting. I think you should just take a guess. I will say this is the most... Well, I'm not... That's too big of a hint. I don't know if there are a lot of listeners here who would know this, but they might.
I don't know. I'm actually thinking of something that was.
I'm guessing.
Okay, so someone did get the right answer.
Really?
Andrew guessed... Well, John guessed Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
John, is that right?
And Andrew guessed Godzilla versus Kong. Andrew, you get it right. That's the original 1963
King Kong versus Godzilla.
King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, we just got a weather alert for us.
Okay. Uh-oh. Kaiju? Can you imagine if you lived like on the coast and you see an alert that says Godzilla's here or something? What do you do?
You have a cellar like in this movie. Remember?
You bend over and put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
They've got to have some kind of alerts like that, right?
I thought they had like cellars
You're
and stuff.
right. Yeah,
they do.
In
like
Hong Kong, everyone is going underground, and interesting. They should build a wall like Pacific Rim.
Oh yeah,
that's where Trump got the idea. He watched Pacific Rim.
Saw Pacific
He's
Rim.
like, huh. Very interesting. Here we go. Two legendary monsters return to terrorize the teenagers of a certain street. Only this time, they're out to get each other too. This one's a pretty good one. I have never seen this movie, but I have heard of it. John, you get it. It's Freddy versus Jason. Damn, Andrew. You gotta get your finger. You got the first one.
I told you guys were like, he texts fast. I was like, I don't text at all.
Affable hillbillies are on vacation at their dilapidated mountain cabin when they are mistaken for murderers by a group of preppy college students.
I don't know this one. John knows this one.
Probably. This is right up his alley. John gets it right. It's Tucker Dale versus Evil.
Oh, I told you, John.
That's actually a really good movie. It's
Yeah,
it's got like a high approval rating or something on Rotten Tomatoes or some shit.
Hey, then I'll watch it. I'm all about that Rotten Tomato life. Here we go. The story of a controversial pornography publisher and how he became a defender of free speech. The story of Andrew, you love porn.
What?
The story of a controversial pornography publisher and how he became a defender of free speech. I think this is Woody Harrelson actually who's in this movie.
Oh, okay.
Damn, you just gave John the answer.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a Woody Harrelson head?
Yeah.
He's a Venom 2.
Just give John
maybe or no?
John, you get it right. It's the people versus Harry Flint.
Yeah.
Larry Flint.
Terry Flint. Put in reverse, Terry.
Here we go. The tale of two socially awkward misfits and the strange ways they try to find love through revenge on high school bullies, burgers, and video games. The tale of two socially awkward misfits and the strange ways they try to find love through revenge on high school bullies, burgers, and video games. Revenge on burgers? No. If I say who directed this movie, it'll give it away.
Just do it so that John will get it.
You really want me to give you a clue? You might get this.
I won't.
You won't?
No, John's won.
I don't know either.
John's won this.
I know I've won this game, but I don't know.
All right, I'm not going to give it to anyone, but what if I told you it was directed by Taika Waititi? No? It's Eagle versus Shark.
Oh. Yeah.
Starring Jermaine Clements.
Never seen Evil versus Shark.
They sound like Paul McCartney. Drums. All right, here we go. Why do you keep taking your headphones off?
I'm just hearing the rain. That's
okay.
I just love you listening to the rain, baby. Damn.
Andrew's putting his tongue out.
It's going to be a challenge getting your equipment home.
That's true. Here we go. Dracula travels to the American West intent on making a beautiful ranch owner his next victim. Her fiance, an outlaw, finds out about it and rushes to save her.
What the fuck?
This is a B movie.
Yeah, I can
that's
tell.
the clue. Obviously.
Dracula travels to the American West.
Well, we know it's Dracula versus something.
Intent on making a beautiful ranch owner his next victim. Her fiance, an outlaw, finds out about it and rushes to save her. I don't think anybody has listened to this. Andrew, that's a good guess. No matter who wins, we lose. John's typing away. He's going back in his mind, thinking about, what were all the Westerns that I liked?
I don't know.
John wrote Dracula versus the Sundance Kid. Andrew wrote Dracula versus Batman. It's Dracula versus Billy the Kid. Very close.
Oh, shit.
You would have gotten a point if we were playing Price is Right rules. When a hypochondriac learns that he is dying, he accepts an offer to throw himself in a volcano at a tropical island, and along the way there, learns to truly live. Come on, this is a good one.
Oh, fuck, I spelled it wrong.
Nope, Andrew gets it. Joe versus the volcano.
It's probably the best versus movie out there. I'm just saying.
Maybe not. You're not even done yet. Here's the next one. Follow 10 contestants as they compete for $1 million in prize money. This is not a good. This movie came out in 2009.
Oh, shit, John's got it.
No, I don't think he does. Follow 10. Why did I write this one? Follow 10 contestants as they compete for $1 million in prize money. Was that in Batman versus Superman?
10 contestants.
As they compete for $1 million in prize money.
I have no fucking clue.
There's no clues in there.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I'm not going to give it to any of you, but the movie is called... Ooh, we don't want to say it. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it. I'm going to have to bleep this out. I'll tell you after the pod.
You both got it wrong.
You wrote this question.
I did, and I realized I shouldn't have.
Just like as you were reading it?
I'll text it to you right now.
I'm sure like people are probably doing research and they're like, oof, this is where they turn the podcast
I texted it to you to tell me if I should say it or not.
Oh, no.
No? Okay, cool. Here's the next one. A documentary examination of the widespread fan disenchantment with a certain sci-fi franchise creator. It's a documentary examination of the widespread fan disenchantment with a certain sci-fi creator. Franchise creator.
You
Andrew,
should have this, but you don't.
Might have watched this.
Yeah. Actually, I've never seen it, but I know what it's called.
I've seen it. It's not my favorite thing. Ooh, Andrew wrote Star Trek versus Star Wars. That'd be a Didn't Disney by Paramount.
That sounds like a documentary.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, I know.
But John, you get it. It's the people versus George Lucas.
I thought you were going to say the people versus OJ. I was like, how would I get this?
That would have been a good one.
That would have been a good one.
Damn. Red Riding Hood is training in the group of sisterhoods when she and the wolf are called to examine the sudden mysterious disappearance of Hansel and Gretel. I watched this movie in the theaters. Not even joking. Red Riding Hood is training in the group of sisterhoods when she and the wolf are called to examine the sudden mysterious disappearance of Hansel and Gretel.
I have no fucking clue.
I don't know if you've seen this movie. This was a pretty big movie. This is the one I'm describing is a sequel because the first one did so damn good.
Oh shit! I know what you're talking about. Fuck! No, God damn it! You can go to yeah.
The first movie made over $100 million.
It just clicked like what movie you would have seen.
Chicken Run.
This is Hoodwink 2. Hood versus Evil. Wow, Drew. Oh wait, you didn't know it.
I did. I just said it.
Oh. No, you didn't. Here we go. Here's the next one. Sexy cheerleaders come together for a competition to win the Hottie of the Year contest. Oh.
I feel like I should have written a lot of these questions.
Sexy cheerleaders come together for a competition to win the Hottie of the Year contest. What? Andrew, I know you've seen this one.
What is this? No, I don't know.
It's a 2011 movie.
Strippers versus zombies or something?
I don't know what it is.
Andrew, no. The movie is Busty Co-eds versus Lusty Cheerleaders.
That is a...
He's right. I have seen
just
it.
like a softcore porn that you just wrote down.
It was the biggest Best Picture snub, I think, of 2011. Here's the next one.
I saw it 20 times.
The world wrestles with what kind of hero it really needs.
God damn it.
What could this be?
Oh, fuck. It autocorrected. Oh, damn, it did it again.
Yeah, John, you're getting time because... Andrew, you get it. This is Batman versus Superman, The Dawn of Justice.
I put BCS because of autocorrect and I said bus after that.
You were thinking of Busty Co-eds. You had that on your notes app. Interesting enough, it was ranked as the number 138 in terms of versus movies.
God.
Isn't that crazy? Busty Co-eds was higher. Here's the next one. American car designer Carroll Shelby and driver Ken Miles battle corporate interference and the laws of physics. Andrew, you get it. Ford versus Ferrari, but it isn't that close because John, you got 7. Andrew, you got 4. John, you win in John versus Drew. No matter who wins, we lose.
Yep.
Congratulations on
King
your
of
win.
the verses.
There is a lot of versus movies, and
we didn't even scratch the surface. There's probably like a lot of versus
These are
movies.
big spoilers for the movies, though, because if you put verses in a movie, you expect there to be...
One winner.
One winner in a big fight, maybe. All right. Well, let's get back to... Wow, I feel like that was a long segment.
Ballistic X versus Sever.
Well, you brought up Mecha Godzilla earlier. What did you think about the mech and Apex? I mean, Mecha Godzilla is a known Godzilla, so...
Villain, yeah.
He obviously looks really cool in this thing. I think we saw like the Transformers-esque visual effects that they created to make, all of his little rockets and doohickeys and
his weapons and
his
shit.
fucking tail has a little flicker to it. There's a lot going on. What did you think about the introduction? The introduction. I'm tired.
The outro douche.
Yeah. What do you think about douching? I think you got to do it.
Dushin Thunder Liger, the wrestler.
Drew, I think this is one of those like kind of things they tried to keep secret because you didn't see him in the trailers, but you saw him in the toys.
Well, yeah, I know, bro. Yeah, the Pops and the Playmates toy line really screwed the pooch on this one.
Yeah.
But
they
also,
always do, it seems
but
like.
Also in the very first trailer, there was already like they showed that stairwell scene of them running down and people paused and they're like, there he is.
Yeah.
And so,
5 minutes in, you see a giant eyeball.
I had a different theory than how this movie was gonna go. I thought that Godzilla wasn't even gonna be in this movie. That it was gonna be like Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
I remember this
and
theory.
I wanted it to happen because it sounds like a better movie than this. But
well, the premise is good because here is Godzilla who had been peaceful, and suddenly he's just destroying places.
Right.
And Drew's theory was pretty cool. Drew thought that there's some little...
that Mecha Godzilla was going to be disguised as Godzilla, like in the old one when Godzilla shoots at him.
Yeah.
And then
The
like it
skin
burns.
falls,
It burns, like the Godzilla skin falls off of him and it's a reveal. It's Mecha Godzilla. But in this one, they straight up just tell you like it's Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah.
Literally. But... I thought it was cool because what we said about Godzilla and Kong, it's these monsters at their peak. So it's like while it's not like appearance wise, it's not my Mechagodzilla. It is ability wise. It is because
you prefer the bulky statue
the Tin Man.
Yeah. He looked dope. It's just again.
Did he look like the Tin Man?
No,
a little bit, I guess.
Maybe you're thinking of Jaguar, but
you are. But I'm just used to Mechagodzilla looking a certain way, and he was my favorite Godzilla villain when I was younger. There was a lot of different Godzillas where it's like Space Godzilla, Mechagodzilla,
Godzilla 2000.
Burning Godzilla, regular Zilla.
Wow, if they made Godzilla 2000, people would be like, damn, that's old. That's 20 years ago.
Damn, you guys made 2000 movies?
I know.
But yeah, so he was my favorite villain, so I was not as big a fan of the design, even though I get it. He's a version of this thicker bear Zilla, because he's modeled after like a bear. He's got a bigger lower half, like a fucking grizzly bear.
I think they actually straight up said it too. Like I think the fighting style of Godzilla is that he fights like a bear.
Yeah, exactly. So, and so, that Mechagodzilla is kind of like a spin on that, where it's like thick Mechagodzilla.
With the
thicker Godzilla.
Does it have the brain of
Ghidorah?
Ghidorah, right?
That's one of the things that doesn't make sense in
interesting.
Here, sort of.
It kind of takes over,
but it doesn't.
That's why he keeps going after Godzilla, and King Kong's like, "Fight me!" And then he's like, "Get the fuck away from me! I'm gonna beat the shit out of this lizard."
That is That's like a very interesting.
And then Serizawa,
really cool.
Serizawa, who's the guy, the scientist, let them fight. That guy, apparently that's his son in this one that helps make Mechagodzilla, and you don't even know it because this movie's kind of bad a little bit.
When it comes to
and also Skarsgård's brother is
to the explanation. He's dead somewhere.
There's a lot of dead relatives in this.
And so while it is a fun movie, it doesn't necessarily make it the best one. And Mechagodzilla was cool because you needed you have to save Mothra scene where it's like, why you can't just kill off one of these characters because you're gonna piss off half the fandom. Where it's like, damn, the Kong fans really didn't like it when you killed Kong. Or, man, the Godzilla fans didn't like it when you killed Godzilla. So you knew that there was going to be something that had to unite them. And while I think Ghidorah would have been a little bit more of a cooler villain for both of them because, it's Monster Zero. But this one was cool because we hadn't seen him yet.
Yeah. And I think there is a moment, too, where he crashes out of the hill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. And in terms of those powers, Kong's smart. He has the axe, but he's nothing compared to nuclear flame breath.
Yeah.
But it's nice that Mechagodzilla is kind of a great foil.
If he would have shot his thunder like in the OG.
Clapped.
Oh, shit,
thunderclapped it.
The lightning, I guess you can say.
I do, yeah. I mean, the addition of Mechagodzilla is pretty cool. It's almost kind of natural, seeing how it was going to go because it seems like, eventually humans would want to build their own thing. And I think Mechagodzilla, depending on the duration, some of the movies have him as an alien. Some of them have him as a man-made thing. This one makes a whole lot of sense considering how this universe or this Earth was reacting to the Titans. So it makes sense that they wanted to create their own kind of almost in like Pacific Rim fashion.
Humans have to be the apex predator.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where the thing comes. That's probably one of the more interesting parts of the human story from this.
They go all Jaeger fucking.
There is weird.
Jägermeister.
It is a little underwritten, because I think I missed it the first time where it was like, oh, it's Ghidorah's head that like powers it.
Yeah.
And then Ghidorah, just because of the psychic connection that Ghidorah had with the other monsters, you have to really think hard about what happened.
He kills Serizawa in this movie.
Yeah, like its power, it takes over the body of Mechagodzilla and then just starts rampaging. And then even the Serizawa thing where you don't really know in the movie, or I think they mentioned the name once in the movie, but then you have to kind of go back and be like, wait, was that really the thing? Those are the parts of the movie that kind of like little underwritten.
It's that connection. It maybe just like a forced connection, I guess, in a way.
But and I do like. I mean, it's kind of taking. It's a twist on the mythology that that was probably all put in in some of these other movies. I haven't seen every single Godzilla movie, but I know that that Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah do return in in different incarnations. So I guess they're trying to kind of mesh that the way those movies did it. Again, it was really cool to see that though because you do get like a really cool fight scene at the very end with both of them or all three of them, which is like a really cool. It's the highest of the spectacle. In other words, I think maybe the only other fight that beats it out is the final Godzilla versus Kong fight in Hong Kong because of the way it's lit, it's just all neon like light that's hitting.
And it's
both monsters.
Well, I I don't remember much of the last couple, but I feel like this is one of the only moments where humans, mainly the podcasters, have a direct impact on the fight, because they're able to pour whiskey or whatever on the computer, and it helps King Kong and Godzilla defeat Mechagodzilla, which is interesting. But in the other films, I feel like there wasn't much of there's ways for them to trick divert attention and stuff, but
it was up to the monsters.
They legit have a really big hand in killing Mechagodzilla.
Yeah,
in this one,
that's cool. I mean,
the power of alcohol, baby.
It kind of be making sense in a way, because Godzilla is like it's man powered in this one, sort of, as opposed.
So man takes it down.
But the
cloud.
That was pretty cool. I think the other thing that was really interesting about this movie is the Hollow Earth stuff, because I think you go into like this very Jules Verne-y journey of the center.
I had to look this up. Hollow Earth is a real theory that started in obviously disproven, because now we know there's hot magma.
Yeah, down there.
And the crust. I don't know what else. The core. The planet core.
And I think that also may contradict what Edwards created in the first Godzilla movie, because the Kaijus, when Godzilla and in the what's that one called? The Muto, when they were Muto. Well, even like in King of the Monsters, the way the reason they
go down there,
the way they go down there, and because they need the radiation from the Earth's core.
Because Godzilla lives there, but we also needed to blow a bomb, so
Godzilla gets more radiation. Yeah, and so in this one, when it's just there's no core, it's just it's just another ecosystem down there.
It's a whole world. It's a legit whole world with different creatures.
Different gravity.
At different moments, because the rocks float even after they fall.
Yeah.
And there's a hole down in Antarctica.
So, exactly. Yeah, so it's just kind of like
also, Godzilla can breathe fire all the way down there.
Yeah.
It's wild. This is wild.
A weird movie. Yeah, it's bonkers.
I'm trying to even remember now. I feel like Godzilla breathes a hole down, but Kong has to jump down.
He climbs it.
No,
he jumps down, but then he climbs it at some point, because it's through the other side.
Yeah, to the other side of the Earth.
Whew. Wow.
Because they start in what? Where do they start? Where they take Kong in the
Antarctica?
Yeah,
Antarctica?
That doesn't mean... He cuts through the Earth all the way to China?
Hong Kong, yeah.
Hong Kong? Yeah. And so you're like, damn.
It still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then
it falls apart when you think about it too much like
Godzilla's
this.
shooting into the atomic... I thought his atomic breath was limited.
Yeah.
Like Shin Godzilla, if you watch Shin Godzilla, he used to recharge after that shit.
Yeah.
But this one... And you would have thought that it would have thrown gravity out of whack and shit.
Yeah, we got problems.
There's no core in this planet.
And at the end, they leave it open, don't they? In the last,
Kong is swinging through the Hollow Earth, and it's like, this is my domain.
We come down whenever we want to. That's interesting.
It's weird. It's so weird.
I mean, that's I think one of the things that I kind of appreciate is this movie really goes for it when it comes to
fantastical sense.
That surrealism stuff. I like the moments when Kong was down there or in there. Is it down there or in there? I don't know. Up there.
Down there, up there.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah. He was up and around the corner. But there were moments there where he, I think, killed like some giant bat snakes or something, and then ate its head.
Hell bats and stuff, yeah.
And I think that world is ripe, and also feels like there's a really big history down there, because there's a throne and there's like ancient weapons.
There's also there's Godzilla and Kong species bones
everywhere. So I mean I'm kind of thinking it's a whole new world, much like Aladdin saying.
Yeah, but instead of flying above the ground,
carpet ride, they fly a heave.
Yeah, the heave.
The heave.
I love and one of the more sillier parts, and it's bad, but also it's just funny how I think the actor's name is Demian Bakir. I forget his name. The
billionaire.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
the guy from The Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Espérate.
Demian Bakir, I think he's a great actor. By the way,
he's good.
He's awesome. The explanation that he gives Skarsgård's character about the heave, he's like, we know about the Hollow Earth, where you have vehicles that can drive. That's it. You're just he's like, oh, we don't know how to get there. He's like, well, we've built technology that can get us there.
They're like, bitch, we built a kaiju.
Guess what? In 3 years?
Yeah, in 3 years. Yeah.
Since the last week, we're down there every day because they discovered it 3 years ago with Bradley Whitford's character. So it's pretty interesting.
I think
too.
It's actually. Oh yeah, they discovered it in with Bradley but I think it was hinted at the Kong Skull
yeah.
Island one.
Yeah, because that's where those creatures,
the skull crawlers,
the
which do
hole.
make a cameo in here. We do see one skull crawler being ripped in half by Mechagodzilla.
And apparently a ton of them are just in that lab.
Oh, yeah,
and
they're being
waiting.
grown. Yeah, they're being grown.
There is also, you reminded me with his character, the CEO,
Apex.
Walter Simmons, which is a very interesting name for him, in the J.K. Simmons family. His daughter, I forgot his daughter is in this.
Yeah.
Maya Simmons?
Maya Simmons, played by Isa Gonzalez, who...
And it
was in other movies.
And she's a fantastic part of the film, but it does make you seem like even though this movie is very grand and whole, we already talked about how, the scientist's brother died and, it's the son of the guy from the first couple of Ken Watanabe's character, but everyone's related who are in Monarch and Apex, and
it's a family business.
It's a family business. It's kind of wild that this is like a
Kyle Chandler and
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is, to me, maybe we get some Skywalkers in there and
possibly
really take care of this. Well, I want to talk about where you think this franchise can go. This movie was obviously really successful. If I'm not mistaken, Toho has the rights for Godzilla, but I'm sure Legendary could re-up if they want to. They have the money. They made profit. And King Kong is...
American. I think it's an American.
Yeah,
IP.
and there's parts of King Kong that are public domain, and there's always litigation about it because it's been forever since King Kong's been out. And Universal and Donkey, they're like fighting for Donkey Kong's fighting for like parts of the
Kong
lore because apparently they don't want anyone else making a Donkey Kong game.
They don't want him to put on a tie. They don't want
if you throw a barrel, we're suing you. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting because technically anyone can make a King Kong movie, but if it touches something, I guess that was in
like a building or something.
The Empire State Building, I'm sure you'll get sued. But
he can't beat his chest.
Yeah, he can't. Wear a tie and have a wife, a son with a hat. But where do you think this franchise can go? What do you think the next iteration of this is? Because it seems like Kong and Godzilla are now friends in different neighborhoods by the end of this movie, and they weirdly respect each other. Like we're cool. They almost handshake at the end of this. Where do you think this can go?
I think based on what we're seeing from these movies, I think you can do remakes of popular like other stories. Like I think you can do Son of Kong, which I think is rumored. Like I think Wingard is rumored to do Son of Kong. Or you can do on the Godzilla front, you can start introducing like, Hedorah, Destroya, or Destoroyah, excuse me. You can do aliens like Megalon. I mean, I know that Ghidorah was an actual alien in King of the Monsters, but you can for Godzilla's side, you can just basically do just more monsters. Like it's like versus this monster versus that.
And we did see quite a few of them in King of the Monsters on screen.
Ghidorah was an alien that had already been there also.
Yeah.
So you can do someone that actually gets there, like Space Godzilla, or like oh shit,
aliens.
Yeah, or you can do the sludge monster, I think Hedorah, like that one. You can do whatever with the Godzilla versus
Biollante.
Yeah, Biollante with the plant monster would be really cool. Which is really cool.
And it's a girl.
But there's like a heightening that needs to happen, and I'm not. I mean, we saw Ghidorah, who is like a really big.
The thing would it be like
they peaked too quick. They gave you his best villain like super quick. Ghidorah.
This is the thing too, because I think King of the Monsters is basically a remake of the movie that they would need to do on a grander scale. Because on Kong, you can do Hollow Earth adventures, in my opinion. Like you can just explore some stuff there.
There's plenty of weird stuff down there. We saw some.
And but it all leads. I think it should all lead to like the next big event. Monsterverse movie would be Destroy All Monsters, but like set in the Hollow Earth though. Like I think in my opinion. But like I know Destroy All Monsters was technically. Wouldn't you say the plot of King of the Monsters was Destroy All Monsters?
That's
though?
right.
Like except minus Anguirus and Gorosaurus and stuff like that. But like you can still do that on a giant. Like get all these monsters like Rodan and everything like just for a free for all like down in the Hollow Earth, and I think that you can build it to that, and that can be the final movie of your thing.
Yeah, I mean I don't begrudge them for doing this because you treat every movie like it's your last movie, so throw everything at the wall and make sure that it's just as big as try to make $1 billion every time. So I get that, but yeah, I mean I feel like we're gonna be we're aiming for some really really big stuff here because I think that's what everyone expects. But I mean, maybe Godzilla dies. That happens in some Godzilla movies, and that's just how it ends.
Son of Godzilla.
Yeah, I think the last the 63 Kong Godzilla, that it's Kong swims away, but you don't actually know
what happened to Godzilla.
What happens? Well, you assume he's alive. There's like hints, but it just ends kind of like that. And I don't know. I think that there could be moments where it'd be perfect for Son of Godzilla too, like for that to be a natural thing. But yeah, there's a lot, and I am definitely. Do you all still have an appetite for kaiju movies and big things?
I think I might have blown the load.
Colossal was good. Remember Colossal?
Oh yeah,
Colossal was good. I think Cloverfield, the Matt Reeves Cloverfield movie, is still pretty good.
Fun.
Yeah. I like the first Pacific Rim. Shit.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Let's do it.
That's like opposite Kaijus.
I also think a good we're gonna nerd out.
Honey,
here.
I Blew Up the Kid. My bad.
I think a good Digimon movie would be like half
Digimon
kaiju
Digital
movie.
Monsters.
Yeah, could be a good kaiju movie in my opinion. I think Drew disagrees, but I think you should do it like on a kaiju.
I just think
kaiju
it's
scale.
tough.
Yeah,
because a lot of it takes place in the digital world.
But they're giant though, like Greymon and all them.
They don't scale when they come out of into the real world, which is why Agumon is so big in that in the movie.
I like Digimon. I love Digimon.
Agumon is huge. Agumon levels a car, and then you get into the digital world, and you're like, oh, he's the size of my
Did
knee.
you see the theory? Because it starts with a tsunami. Did you see the theory that they're all dead from episode 1? And this is all like just
cool. Yeah,
I was like, damn,
that's kind of dark.
That's how I would do it.
Definitely more relative than Pokemon, or more. It aged better than Pokemon.
Yeah,
because you're like, hey, you trap your friends against their will, and then make them fight.
Well, it's just digital. It's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go around the horn and give our final thoughts on Kong v. Godzilla.
Godzilla versus V Kong.
God v. Kong.
Godzilla. It was good. It was okay. Whatever. I'm just kidding. I remember kind of dreading watching this movie, rewatching it, but it actually aged worse in my head. Rewatching this movie now in the background and then putting on the good parts. I get it. And it could have been worse. Which it should have been worse, actually, because, again, it's a giant ape fighting a radioactive lizard.
Yeah, and it's a lot of Hollow Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I believe in science. They would have been melted as fuck down there.
That's true.
But really cool concepts that I would want expanded on the Kong end with, like, the Hollow Earth stuff, where it's like your family lineage, you can still make it to where, like, his ancestor was the one that fell off the Empire, the Empire State Building.
You're right. I want to see another Kong. I'm like, I really want him to be happy.
Yeah. And so, he kind of looks like,
like a Fey Ray type of person.
The end of this movie kind of ends the way it begins, which is Kong just living life.
Scratching his ass.
Yeah, scratching his ass.
Hanging out. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice?
And I like that those little like hints towards the Kong Skull Island and kind of the stylization, and that was really good.
And if Godzilla has to ride off into the sunset because Toho regains your rights, then by all means as well, because
we got Kong.
And Shin Godzilla was amazing.
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla is probably the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen in my life, and it's pretty recent. So if you want to make a follow up to that, then I'm game for that end. But obviously, there's a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not against them just making up stuff too. That's cool with me.
Yeah, give me a new kaiju.
We don't have to keep doing this.
We were. What if Godzilla and Kong mated? And then boom, you get some lizard fucking orangutan.
Oh, plus remember, there are eggs at Madison Square Garden from the Matthew Broderick Godzilla.
There's also because it's all just really just about like new monsters. I think the King of the Monsters at the very end, we saw some new kaiju we've never seen before. Like there was like a giant mastodon looking fucker with
there's like a crab.
Yeah, there's like a giant crab, and you can do all sorts of stuff with it. And then
get that giant crab down to the boil.
Rodan like switched sides, like he was on Ghidorah's side, and then like came down.
Oh, you know what? I just realized. I said that humans had an impact in this movie, but Millie Bobby Brown had like she could control them.
Yeah,
well, she could control them.
I think she could control, but I think Ghidorah didn't like that. Like it didn't work on him, so he was trying to destroy it.
Oh yeah, remember when Millie Bobby Brown went to the Boston Red Sox stadium to play the orca sounds?
Mm-hmm.
Wild. John, what did you think about Kong vs. Godzilla? Or Godzilla vs. Kong?
I liked it. Again, it's a hell of a spectacle to experience on the big screen possible. Even if you don't, like I think you can put this on at home
and sit close to the TV.
Sit close to the TV, or just like watch it with family, because it's a very fun like movie. It's like an action movie that I think is going to age really well, in terms of how the franchises or the American MonsterVerse franchise, I think people were gonna take this as the favorite because it's got the best fight scenes. It's got the two best characters of the franchise, or the two main ones, I guess, because I don't know if everyone's been itching to see a King Kong versus Godzilla since the 60s, but it's nice to know that this is a movie that shows what would happen if they were to actually meet in a modern scenario and who would actually win, because there are definitive winners and then there's a team up. So fun movie overall. I think if you haven't seen it, you should definitely, if you're a fan of kaiju flicks, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, and I think that to your point, we most of the audience of this film probably really wanted to see these fights, and that meant that they had to be executed really, really well. And I do think that Adam Wingard did that. I talked earlier about him watching all these movies, but when he talks about it, it's almost like encyclopedic knowledge of these monsters and these relationships, and you see that in the fight. And I think that's great because it's not just a ton of iconography. It's not just a ton of that, but there's a lot of motivation in these fights, and it feels that way. And I think because those fights, those are the anchor to the movie, oddly enough, even though there's Hollow Earth and Apex and all kinds of things, the anchor is just whether these fights are going to be good and deliver, and they do. And I think they're
finally,
and they're stylized enough that they're actually pretty different from any other Godzilla thing you've seen, whether it's just the way they look or maybe the way the tides turn in the middle of them. So I think this is definitely a really fun movie to watch. And sit close to your TV screen, turn it up to 100, and then have your friend shake you around like you're in a D-box.
Behind you, and then you repay the favor so he can watch the movie. He or she can watch the movie,
and then go hop into a Godzilla exhibit inside of a zoo, and do IRL. You can choose between a gorilla or a Komodo dragon exhibit, and fight them. Do it immersive. Just kidding, Harambe. Andrew, what do you have to plug?
So go check out the Dirt Sheet Radio. With my boy John Escudero on the mic. It's been a ride. I think from this from when we're recording this, it's been a year,
from tip to taint, a whole year.
Yeah, and so they've been doing really good work there. Professional wrestling is your cup of tea. Then they've got you covered on everything there, especially since they're back. All the wrestling companies are back on the road, whether that is the independent circuit or the mainstream stuff like AEW and WWE. Go check out Countdown to the Countdown Strikes Back, which we did episodes on Star Wars Visions, and probably a whole ton now. If it's in 2022, we probably are knee deep into the Book of Boba Fett. And we did a couple of Babu's book clubs for the High Republic, so we read them so that you don't have to, because we know a lot of people don't have time to read it. So we did that for you. And we go into some really cool comic discussions in that, and it's all canon too. So you'd like that, and check out Director Showdown with Brent and Adam. They do some, who knows, they're probably in their fucking 12th season by the time you're listening to this one. And all their podcasts are like 4 hours long. And so it's going to take you forever to get to them. But
you got time.
Yeah. So listen to all of them. They do some really awesome and awesome work, especially if film is your creative outlet or is what you love passion and crave. Yeah. Because I mean, it's definitely, if you're not watching Kurosawa movies, then you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah. I dream in 24 frames a second.
Yeah, exactly. And so now we just lost our mainstream audience. They're like, what the fuck does that mean? 24, a second. Oh, shit.
John, what do you have to plug?
I'm going to plug the Countdown to Infinity. I think at this point we're getting close to the actual infinity number. No,
that's impossible. We cannot get. Someone just tweeted us today saying that, I bet when you started the pod you thought Infinity War, and now it means you will never end.
Yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, I think at this point we would probably, if this is 2022, you will catch us on episodes like The Eternals and Spider-Man.
That's wild. Yeah, and Spider-Man.
And Hawkeye. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. And Hawkeye. The Christmas show.
Christmas.
Yeah. And probably there's a Venom. Probably.
Christmas.
If we were bored, we may have recorded a Venom episode somewhere in there.
I can spoil it for you right now.
No.
But, okay.
I haven't seen it.
But yeah, go check that out. There's some fun stuff there. And then I think Delphin and Sophie do the shows, which are fun in itself. Yeah, go check that out. And that's I think that's the end of my plug.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully we don't have to get vaccinated. I mean, I know you have to get vaccinated every year.
Get your third booster if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably need it for sure. You probably need your fourth booster or something by now. Who knows?
Wow. If you want to support the pod, go to patreon.com/delphinpod, DELFINPOD. There's exclusive shows, video content, and all kinds of fun stuff there. Rate and review this pod, and we will see you next week for another sequel, because you know what? They keep making them, and even during COVID, we got a lot of them.
Yeah.
Sequels will never die.
There's always going to be sequels.
Yeah, that's sad.